Thumb slips, dim glass, watching the minutes pass. Quiet hall, empty bed, nothing left to be said. Shadow leans on the floor, I can't wait anymore. Notification stays at none. I am not the only one. Chest starts to ache. How much more can I take? Internal failure inside my head. Every hope is finally dead. Unread forever, tossed to the side, nowhere for me to even hide. You found someone to fill the gap, walking right into the trap left on the shelf, just by myself. Unread forever. Timestamp mocks my weary eyes, drowning in your quiet lies. Thumb hovers above the send. This is where our circles end. Blank space, cold air, seeing ghosts everywhere. Life fades into blue, losing my grip on you. Was I just a temporary fix, mixing up the chemicals and tricks? You erased every trace of me, setting yourself so wild and free. Unread forever, tossed to the side, nowhere for me to even hide. You found someone to fill the gap, walking right into the trap left on the shelf, just by myself. Unread forever. Unread forever. Shut the lid, turn the key. No more you, no more me. Unread forever. Unread forever. Sealed vault, hidden key, took away the best of me. Quiet tomb, buried deep, cannot rest, cannot sleep. Drawn blind, darkened room, swept away by the broom. Locked away, out of sight, fading in the silent night. Secret map, lost away, skies are now painted gray. Gallery, close to day, through the grand prize away. Relic found, covered up, poison in my plastic cup. Statue stands very still, swallowing the bitter pill. Why do I keep on trying when my soul is slowly dying? Questions loop, endless spin, letting all the demons in. Heavy steps, going down, archived heartbeat, stored away, safe for a rainy day. You replaced me with a clone. Now I wonder, all alone, why did you lock the door? I am not yours anymore. Buried deep underground, never making any sound. Index card, torn in two, nothing left here to do. Fossil bone turned to rock, staring at the wooden clock. Curtain falls, show is done, looking for the missing son. Catalog ends right here, living in a constant fear. Zip the file, hide the pain, walking out in the snow. Nowhere else left to go. still sucks the air. Life is just so unfair. Marble block carved in grief, looking for some relief. Was I just an exhibit? Did you cross every limit? Put me in a glass case, wipe away my sad face. Looping why endless spin? Where does the healing begin? You took all the museum art, tore apart my beating heart. Archive heartbeat, stored away, safe for a rainy day. You replaced me with the clone. Now I wonder, all alone, why did you lock the door? I am not yours anymore. Buried deep underground, never making any sound. Close the vault, turn around, not a single living sound. Store it all on the shelf by myself. Archived heartbeat, stop. Stop. Cotton shirt, scent of you. Morning clouds block the view. Coffee sits in the mug, lying on the woven rug. Cushion bears your indent, wondering where your affection went. Timestamp marks 3 a.m. Plucking off the flower stem. Reader C glows so harsh, sinking in a muddy marsh. Typing dots never show, watching my sanity go. Why do I overthink? Standing by the kitchen sink, water drips from the tap, falling in your quiet trap. Ghostly marks left behind, losing my fragile mind. Seen at 3 with no reply, asking the universe to tell me why. Swap me out for someone new. I am totally done with you. Digital ghost haunts my screen, meanest trick I have ever seen. Sting of loss bites so deep, crying myself right to sleep. Traffic hums down the street, wrapped inside a single sheet. Ceiling fan spins around, listening for a vocal sound. Shadows dance on the blind, leaving our memories behind. Cynical jokes in my brain, driving me half insane. Numbness spreads through my toes, that is how the story goes. Battery drops, percentage low, watching the minute hand go. Looping why over again. Grabbing paper and pen, writing down all my grief, praying for some quick relief. You exist as a trace, floating in the cyberspace. Not a word sent to me, sinking in misery. Seen at 3 with no reply, asking the universe to tell me why. Swap me out for someone new. I am totally done with you. Digital ghost haunts my screen, meanest trick I have ever seen. Sting of loss bites so deep, crying myself right orbs, jump and dance, waiting for one last chance. Alphabet starts to form, seeking out something warm. Paragraph almost built, covered in heavy guilt. Fingers press on the board, nothing saved, nothing stored. Backspace key, push so fast, knowing we could not last. Sentences melt away, nothing left here today. Sudden stop, screen is clear, swallowing every fear. Leftward slide, clears the line, giving up the design. Why the tease, why the act, dealing with brutal facts. Substitute, found so quick and making me very sick. Pacing up, pacing down, walking through this empty town. Typing but never sent, wondering what it meant. Three little jumping spheres, feeding my deepest fears. You had the words to say, then put the app away. Acting like I am air, acting like you don't care. Another person took my seat, leaving me on the street. Cynical, broken loop, sitting here on the stoop. Sun goes down, quiet blocks all around. Street lamp sparks, amber hue. Still I sit, thinking through. Sweater zipped to the chin, letting the madness spin. Indicator fades to gray, washing the hope away. You converse with the new, nothing left I can do. Status says active now, breaking the branch and bow. Fingers pull at my hair, breathing in stagnant air. Hesitation on your end, losing my closest friend. Why the loop, why the game, muttering your first name? Did you write an excuse, feeling this blunt abuse? Ghostly prints on the glass, watching the traffic pass. You erased your own text, leaving me so perplexed. Typing but never sent, wondering what it meant. Three little jumping spheres, feeding my deepest fears. You had the words to say, then put the app away. Acting like I am air, acting like you don't care. Another person took my seat, leaving me on the street. Cynical, broken loop, sitting here on the stoop. Sitting here on the stoop. Fingers numb, waiting for kingdom come. Bubble pops, disappears, confirming all my fears. Typing but never sent. Device asleep, black mirror, vision is less clear. Metal block in my fist, look at all that I missed. Holding breath, counting sheep, sorrow is very deep. Battery draining fast, nothing is built to last. Rival arrives, takes the crown, dragging me further down. Counterfeit takes my role, tearing up my whole soul. You look glad on the page, trapped inside this small cage. Vibration never comes, beating on empty drawers. Volume 0, nothing rings. Broken bird, broken wings. Why the shift, why the change? Everything is so strange, falling through the cracked ice. The sound of your silence is ringing so loud. I am lost in the background, just part of the crowd. You picked a replacement and threw me away. I have absolutely nothing to say. No incoming data to settle my mind, just leaving a ruined disaster behind. The ultimate quiet is breaking my chest. I guess your new person is simply the best. Simply the best. Archive closed, vault is sealed. Wounds are now never healed. Search bar empty slot, giving up all I got. Dial tone in my brain, standing in the sharp hail, watching the system fail. Log is wiped, history clear, living with constant fear. He is there in your space, occupies my old place. Clock hands barely move, nothing left here to prove. Blanking box, stark and bare, grasping at nothing there. Why the fade, why the ghost, hurting the one you love most? Unplug the cord, cut the tie, never said a real goodbye. Cynical joke on my heart, tearing the muscles apart. Deafening drop in the room, welcoming the dark tune. The sound of your silence is ringing so loud. I am lost in the background, just part of the crowd. You picked a replacement and threw me away. I have absolutely nothing to say. No incoming data to settle my mind, just leaving a ruined disaster behind. The ultimate quiet is breaking my chest. I guess your new person is simply the best. Simply the best. Drop the weight, accepting this cruel fate. Absolute quiet now, broken the sacred vow. Sound of your silence, winds. Sound of your silence, winds. Porcelain cup cracked in two, thinking of only you. Curtains pulled, block the sun, knowing that we are through. Copper line cut in half, missing your sudden laugh. Wooden chair pushed aside, nowhere left for me to hide. Another man takes the prize, looking in your brown eyes, holding your right hand, shifting the hourglass. And my turn is complete, walking down a lonely street. Iron gate padlocked tight, surrendering the long fight. Why this way? Why so fast? Thought our bond would truly last. The reason hides out of reach. Standing on the empty beach, tides pull me beneath. Signal lost in the dark, missing the vital spark. You traded my whole world, look how it all uncurled. Gave your affection away, left me with nothing to say. I am a discarded thing, stripped of the wedding ring. A stranger is taking my turn, watching the bridges burn, calling out into the space, erased from the human race. Envelope torn apart, ripping up my fragile art. Pen is dry, ink is gone, waiting for tomorrow's dawn. Car keys on the mat, where your shoes always sat. Dust collects on the wood, did the best that I could. Mirror shows hollow eyes, feeding on bitter lies. Radio mute, frequency dead, heavy stones in my head. Ticket stub thrown away, nothing left here today. Compass spins, losing north, pacing slowly back and forth. Was I a step stepping stone. Now I am all alone. You built a brand new home, leaving me here to roam. Did you plan this escape, wearing a different shape? I reach out, touch the wind. Where did the ending begin? Signal lost in the dark, missing the vital spark. You traded my whole world, look how it all uncurled. Gave your affection away, left me with nothing to say. I am a discarded face, stripped of the wedding ring. Strangers taking my turn, watching the bridges burn, calling out into the space, erased from the human race. Ocean deep, promises you did not keep. Transmission fades to black, never ever coming back. Signal lost in the dark. Goodbye. To you anymore. Linen cloth, fraying edge, sitting on the window ledge. Silver spoon, empty bowl, losing all my self-control. Calendar, pages turned, lesson is never learned. Heavy coat on the hook, never get a second look. You are now with a friend, bringing us to the end. He's tall, he's new, taking up the space of you. Social feed, frozen still, feeling this awful chill. Crescent moon in the sky, asking the universe why. Why the rush, why the hush? Everything turns to mush. Questions spin like a wheel, losing how I should feel. Slipping down a steep slope. You muted my soul, swallowed me whole. I am a whisper, lost in the cold. You picked a stranger to hold your hand, leaving me stranded in a wasteland. Zero replies, just empty space. Erased every memory without a trace. I am a phantom that you ignore. I do not matter to you anymore. Ceramic tile, long exile, sofa sits by the door. I am a boring chore, your new guy makes you smile. I am in the junk file, thumb is sore from the swipe. Nothing left for me to type. Dinner plate, only one setting of the yellow sun. You feel so very far, like a faint distant star. Taking sound from the vent, wondering what it all meant. Button push, slide it down, saddest ghost in the town. Was it a cruel joke, watching all the mirrors broke? You remove the vocal cord, swinging a heavy sword. Silence me with a click, making me feel so weak. Tears are on my pale cheek, I'm a broken antique. You muted my soul, swallow me whole. I am a whisper, lost in the cold. You picked a stranger to hold your hand, leaving me stranded in a wasteland. Zero replies, just empty space. Erased every memory without a trace. I am a phantom that you ignore. I do voice, I was not your final choice. Muted forever, goodbye. Goodbye. Red circle slash straight through, keeping out the thought of you. Heavy gate, padlock shuts, bleeding from the deepest cuts. Brick wall built so high, not a single tear to cry. Security's turned on, all the magic fully gone. All the magic fully gone. Restricted zone, do not cross. Measuring the heavy loss. Your initials turn to gray, banish you so far away. He can have your attention, I will end the suspension. Quarantine my own mind, leaving the past behind. Barriers standing firm, watching the virus squirm. Shields are up, defenses prime. Doing this one last time, stopping the pure agony. Your name in my block list, banishing the toxic mist. I put up a barricade, watching the memories fade. You replaced me with the fake, how much can my spirit take? Restricting your access now, treating me like a fool somehow. Zero entry to my zone, I will handle this alone. Locked you out of my domain, stopping all the endless pain. Stopping all the endless pain. Warning sign flashing bright, keep away from my sight. Perimeter is secure, I am finding my own cure. Trespassing not allowed, walking through a different crowd. Red letter spelling stop, letting the curtain drop. Firewall burning hot, protecting all that I got. You are stuck on the outside, nowhere left for you to hide. Deleted your access key, you cannot get to me. Steel bars, cold and fake, making me feel so sick. Do you notice I am blocked? That my boundary is locked? Are you happy with the new? After what you put me through, I refuse to be second. Not what I ever reckoned. Exile is permanent. Look at all the time we spent. Forbidden territory and all the tragedy. Your name in my block list, banishing the toxic mist. I put up a barricade, watching the memories fade. You replaced me with the fake, how much can my spirit take? Restricting your access now, treating me like a fool somehow. Zero entry to my zone, I will handle this alone. Locked you out of my domain, stopping all the endless pain. Stopping all the endless pain. Area closed, everything is exposed. Block list saves my life, pulling out the rusty knife. Your name blocked forever. Forever. Fake buzz on my hip, biting my bottom lip. Illusion strikes once again, counting to number 10. Pockets hold nothing real, forgetting how I should feel. feel, cruel mirage tricks my brain, driving me half insane. He stands in for my part, stealing your fickle heart. Alternate takes the stage, turning the final page. Standing gets all the praise, lost in a mental maze. Swap me out in a flash, turning all to grey ash. Why the swap? Why the shift? Watching our future drift. Illusion plays on my mind, leaving the good behind. Hallucination takes control, stealing my weary soul. Phantom notifications, testing all my patience. Feeling a vibration in this isolation. You picked a substitute, giving him the absolute, dealing with the bitter sting while he gives you everything. Just a false alarm with no real charm. I am a discarded joke, watching all the embers choke. Delusion hits every hour, losing my will and power. Sensory overload, walking down a gravel road, vibrating in the seam, waking from a bitter dream. Empty fabric against the leg, cracking like a fragile egg. He enjoys your company, nothing left here for me. Counterfeit takes the price, looking in your green eyes. Fabricated little sound, knocking me to the ground. Phantom buzz strikes to get a punishing kind of zen. Was I just an option, put up for adoption? You chose a different buyer, throwing me in the fire. Why the fake little buzz, missing what never was. Hallucinating every day, scraping all the joy away. Paranoia sinking deep, losing all my precious sleep. Phantom notifications, testing all my patience. Feeling the vibration in this isolation. You picked a substitute, giving him the absolute, dealing with the bitter sting while he gives you everything. Just a false alarm with no real charm. I am a discarded joke, watching all the embers choke. Fake buzz stops at last, living in the ruined past. Phantom pulse fading out, living with the heavy doubt. Living with the bitter taste. Everything is a waste. Phantom buzz stops. Saved crumbs, hidden bits, seeing where the sadness sits. Stored logs buried deep, mountains of the things I keep. Search bar points to you, showing what we used to do. Data points never lie, saying a severe goodbye. Successor claims the prize, wearing a complete disguise. Outsider walks right in, where does my defeat begin? Algorithms feed the pain, standing by the passing train. He receives your warm embrace, wiping out my entire base. Why this route, why this path, dealing with the aftermath. Temporary items stay, taking all my joy away. Plunging down the steep ravine. The cache of us is full of junk. Look at how my spirit sunk. You picked an alien to take the lead, ignoring my specific need. Leftovers are left behind, messing with my fragile mind. I am a relic you threw out, living in this massive doubt. are clear as history goes. That is how the river flows. Cookies track every step, losing all the tears I wept. Bandwidth drops to a crawl, staring at the waterfall. Downloads fail at the start, ripping out my vital parts. Server crashes, system burns, waiting for the tragic turns. Trash bin filling fast, nothing is supposed to last. Tracking lines follow me far across the bitter sea. Ruins sit on the lawn, waiting for the early dawn. Was I a practice run, blocking out the loaded gun? You installed a different mate, leaving me to this fate. Why the sudden cruel exchange? Everything is rearranging. I am in the recycle bin. Where did this rain begin? The cache of us is full of junk. Look at how my spirit sunk. You picked an alien to take the lead, ignoring my specific need. Leftovers are left behind, messing with my fragile mind. I am a relic you threw out, living in this massive doubt. Cache of us, cache of us. Wipe it clean, meanest trick I have seen. Temporary leftovers, covered in the heavy clovers. The cache of us empty. The cache of us empty. Pale hue strikes my face, trapped inside this vacant place. Digits change on the clock, twisting the rusty lock. Flat mattress, rigid spine, nothing is truly mine. Visitor stays for good, doing what I never could. Taking over every inch, feeling this bitter pinch. Icons show he is close, taking an awful dose. Why the turn or why the spin, letting the sorrow in. Panic strikes to the core, I am tossed to the curb. Nothing will him disturb. Blue light, betrayal, sting in my eyes. Looking right through your terrible eyes. You chose a rival, fighting so hard for my own survival. No incoming font, you gave him exactly what you really want. Harsh lead did, piercing my skull, making my days incredibly dull. Dash is gray, typing halts, locking up the metal vaults. Skin is dry, how it chafes, securing all the iron safe. Zero news on the feed, paying for your awful greed. Rival man claims the throne, leaving me here to groan. Pixels burn on the LCD, looking at what used to be. Harsh tint on the skin, letting the madness begin. Were we a tragic play, throwing the props away? You gave in the lead role, digging a massive hole. Why the harsh sudden cut, keeping your mouth so shut? Cynical plot twist, crossed off the roster list. Blue light, betrayal, stinging my eyes, looking right through survival, no, I'm coming fine. You gave him exactly what you really want. Harsh lead piercing my skull, making my days incredibly dull. Drop the tech, what a wreck. Pale hue fades away. End of the tragic tale. Watching the colors pale. Blue light betrayal. Blue light betrayal done. Severed thread, splintered end. Cannot fix, cannot mend. Plaster falls from the roof. You remain so aloof. Faucet leaks in the basin, pushed onto the steep margin. Blank notepad, empty sketch, feeling like such a wretch. New recruit takes the job, turning the brass door knob. Stepping on the front porch, carrying the bright torch. He will get your sweet kiss, plunging in the abyss, grasping at the thick smog, lost within the dense bog. Why the pause, why the stop, letting the mic drop? You detached every socket, emptying my front pocket like a pest, crushed and small, staring at the attic rafters, losing all innocence, jumping over the tall fence. Offline whore, disconnected from the grid, despising everything you hid, hating every single action, losing all the old attraction. You exchanged me for a newcomer, bringing on the freezing summer. Unopened parcels pile high, asking the galaxies for reasons, stuck inside these freezing seasons. No answer to my distress, living in this awful wreck. Out of range, no radar, the whole world feels absurd. Waiting for a kind noun, wandering the dead village, looking at the sad pillage. Torn atlas, lost the trail, going off the steep cliff. Body is solid stone, understudy learns the dialogue, drinking all the fine wines, taking over the main act, dealing with the harsh reality, ending my sanity. Frostbite on my bare knuckles, undoing the belt buckles. My whole life is now doomed, waiting to be entombed. Were we real? Just a face, stumbling through the bramble, losing the massive gamble. You checked out, left the inn. Where does the misery bloom? Sitting in the freezing cellar, talking to the fortune teller. You extracted my own label, sitting at the dining table. Offline heart, disconnected from the grid, despising everything you hid, hating every single action, losing all the old attraction. You exchanged me for a newcomer, bringing on the freezing summer. Unopened parcels pile high, asking the galaxies for reasons, stuck inside these freezing seasons. No answer to my distress, living in this awful wreck. Sever the final bar, no more sobs, lift to weep, pledges that you shattered. Nothing else really mattered, choking on the gray smoke. Offline heart stops. Stops. white sheet, folded square, nothing left over there. Empty plate, wooden spoon, howling at the afternoon. Blank canvas stripped bare, gasping for some fresh air. Cobweb hangs on the hinge, feeling the awful cringe. Fresh face takes the metal, pushing down the gas pedal. Stepping up to the plate, sealing my terrible fate. He arrives on the scene, wiping the slate clean, locking the front portal, feeling so very mortal. Brain hurts from the math, walking a lonely path. Avenue without trees, begging on bleeding knees. Puzzling in my skull, everything is so dull. Slipping off the steep edge, deleted conversations, erasing the foundations, scrubbing the letters away, refusing to let me stay, wiping the history clean. Cruelest act I have seen. Here's your shiny new toy. I am the forgotten boy, trashing the paragraphs, silencing the old laughs, tossing me into the void. Everything is destroyed. Line is flat on the chart, ripping up my sad heart, searching for a small clue, missing the idea of you. Tumbling down the stairs, nobody even cares, going so very mad, losing all that we had. A switch is flipped down to off, hearing the nervous cough. All the chords have been snipped, the entire script is flipped. He is there in your arms, using his fake charms. I am a distant speck, looking at this huge wreck. Why the scrub, why the wash, squishing me like a squash? Did you hate every word? I am a wingless bird. Cannot fly, cannot soar, laying on the hardwood floor. Wiped it out like a stain, dealing with the severe pain. Emptying the trash bin, letting the sorrow in. Deleted conversations, erasing the foundations, scrubbing the letters away, refusing to let me stay, wiping the history clean. Cruelest act I have seen. He is your shiny new toy. I am the forgotten boy, trashing the paragraphs, silencing the old laughs, tossing me into the void. Everything is destroyed. Trash icon, emptied out, living with the deep doubt, trying hard to forget, living with the regret. Deleted conversations gone. Gone. Heavy boots, muddy tracks, carrying heavy sacks, blinking lamp, broken bulb, chewing on bitter pulp. Copper wire snapped apart, slowest beat in the chart. Empty lungs, slowest breath, facing this sudden death. Stranger walks through the gate, sealing my awful fate. Different boy wins the match, closing up the escape hatch. Looking at your new pair, pulling out my own hair, biting on my fingernail, watching this vessel sail. Why the pivot? Taking out a massive divot, circling the drain pipe, nothing left to input. Tied up with a heavy foot, slipping off the steep edge. Connection terminated. Everything is decimated. You unplugged the central line, said that you were doing fine, gave another guy the crown, burned the whole cathedral down. Zero answers on the way, nothing left to articulate, leaving me to deteriorate. Severed every single chord, I am totally ignored. Loading bar stops at 10. Will we ever speak again? Will we ever talk at all? Staring at the concrete block, turning the iron key. Nothing left to oversee. Forward motion halts completely. Everything in so neatly. Error code on the prompt, feeling so very stumped. System halt, major glitch, thrown into the muddy ditch. He's laughing close to you, splitting me down the middle, solving the tragic riddle, falling on the sharp gravel, watching the yarn unravel. Did you scheme, ending this fantasy, throwing out the recipe? Am I merely a stepping block, watching the pendulum clock tick and talk left and right, losing the will to stand, sinking in the wet mud, losing all the energy. You became the enemy. Connection terminated. Everything is decimated. You unplugged the central line, said that you were doing fine, gave another guy the crown, burned the whole cathedral down. Zero answers on the way, nothing left to articulate, leaving me to deteriorate. Severed every single chord, I am totally ignored. Socket bare, sitting on the wooden stool, feeling like a total clown, going so far down. Connection terminated over. Padded cot, thick as quilt, dwelling on all this disgrace. Hushed gong taps the brass, shedding all my grimace. Unable to hear your pitch, scratching a fierce itch. Silicone plugs in my lobes, donning my fleece robes. He is noisy in your psyche, observe what he has just brought. Glossy gifts, diamond bands, clasping his tender grips, brushing his soft as mouth, heading to the absolute south. He secures your full gaze, trapped within this awful haze. Why the gag, why the foam, marching through the catacomb, buried by the thick fleece, pleading for some release, dipping in the oil well. Muffled memories, vanishing in the horizon, offering no resistance. You suppress my vocal speech, moving vastly beyond my grasp, exhaling a terminal gasp. He is your premier selection, forcing me to be ill, ingesting a sour herb. Nothing will him upset, snared within a giant net. Snared within a giant net. hushed shouts down the corridor. Tolerate any second more, hoping I was much stronger. Account is extremely frail, peeling back the peeling gloss, tearing down the damp moss, looking at the empty frame, whispering your first name. He gets all the loudest now, shattering a holy oath, injuring our packed muffled pings. Do not blare, reclining in the rolling bench, admitting a colossal failure, feeling like a doomed sailor, shipwrecked on the jagged reef, swallowing the awful grief. Why the dense insulation spoiling my salvation? Soundproof foam keep me hushed, igniting a cerebral riot, stripping off the platinum bands. Hush rules the land. Acoustics are so lifeless, napping on the timber planks, feeling devoid of any thanks. Muffled memories vanishing in the horizon, offering no resistance. You suppress my vocal speech, moving vastly beyond my grasp, exhaling a terminal gasp. He is your premier selection, forcing me to be ill, ingesting a sour herb. Nothing will him upset, snared within a giant net. Snared within a giant net. Muffled bump on the latch. Hush is the only catch. Decibels dive below the graph, handling the hideous fright. Muffled memories vanish. Single note server farm, pumping venom in my arm. Web page stalls, graphic tears, multiplying all my fears. Routing fails, path is blind, leaving sanity behind. Address bar flashing dull, echoes in my empty skull. Different user logs right in. Where does this success begin? He attains your soft smile, I'm stuck in exile. He achieved the highest rank, shooting blanks from the tank. Password works for his try, not a single alibi. Why the glitch, why the snag? Carrying the heaviest bag, network drops down to nil, swallowing the hardest pill, tumbling down the hill. The loneliest link, severed at the seam, ruining the perfect dream. You invited a substitute, choosing a different route, facing the brutal wrath. URL leads to a void, all the moments are defaced. I am just an orphan page, trapped inside a metal zoo, with no pathway back to you. With no pathway back to you. Ping returns negative, nothing left for me to give. Source code looks bizarre, wishing on a dying star. Protocol is ignored like a cheap reward. Broken script, fatal flaw, thawing out the winter thaw. He uploads a recent shot, ruining the only plot, making my stomach turn, watching the forest burn. Lost within the endless fog, sinking in the murky bog. Broadband dies, connection weak, tears upon my hollow cheek. Was I just a rough draft, floating on a sinking raft? You deployed a brand new site, turning off the neon light. Why the harsh redirect, treating me with disrespect? Hyperlink goes nowhere, grasping at the thin air. The lonely down, wearing a paper crown, hanging by a fragile thread, sleeping in a ruined bed. Loneliest link breaks. Someone else's hoodie, wrapping up your shoulders, dodging all the falling boulders. You look so comfortable, crossing the final border, wearing a stranger's clothing, creating a new order. Graphic on the fabric, spelling out his team, ending the pleasant fantasy, waking from the dream. You sport the heavy garment for everyone to view. That pullover confirms it, I am nothing to you. I am nothing to you. Oversized cotton blend, signaling the absolute end. Woven knit, unknown brand, foreign name, foreign land. Thick apparel draped on you, changing my entire view. Pull over, hide your frame, nothing will remain the same. Zipper pulled up so high, uttering a swift goodbye. Cuffs are long, covering thumbs, waiting until the morning comes. Drawstrings hang very loose, tightening the heavy noose. Baggy fit on your spine, proving you are no longer mine. Not my size, not my style. Standing in the single file, recognizing the foreign gear, confirming my deepest fear, observing the apparel change. Someone else's hoodie, wrapping up your shoulders, dodging all the falling boulders. You look so comfortable, crossing the final border, wearing a stranger's clothing, creating a new order. Graphic on the fabric, spelling out his team, ending the pleasant fantasy, waking from the dream. You sport the heavy garment for everyone to view. That pullover confirms it, I'm nothing to you. Pouch in front, hold your palms, ignoring all my urgent qualms. Material is very thick, making me extremely sick. Tag is cut from the neck, writing out a massive check. Washing out new detergent smell, tolling the warning bell. Broad shoulders in the cloth, attracting the flying moth. Collar is frayed a bit, falling in the yawning pit. Sleeves extend, reaching past, hoping this would endure and last. Spotting the university crest, failing the loyalty quest. Did he offer the pullover when the breeze got too strong? Accepting the apparel piece, proving I was totally wrong. You snuggle in the fabric, basking in the borrowed heat, admitting my surrender, admitting my defeat. Swapping out your wardrobe, traveling the globe. Someone else's hoodie, wrapping up your shoulders, dodging all the falling boulders. You look so comfortable, crossing the final border, wearing a stranger's clothing, creating a new order. Graphic on the fabric, spelling out his team, ending the pleasant fantasy, waking from the dream. You sport the heavy garment for everyone to view. That pullover confirms it, I am nothing to you. before the breaking dawn. Oversized cotton blend, signaling the absolute end. Someone else hoodie wins. Hushed tones, late nights, swore to do right. Hidden vault deep inside, place where I confide. Combinations spoken low, things that only we know. Safe is broken open, every vow is forsaken. Burglar came in the dark, left a terrible mark. Took the precious loot, wearing a different suit. He has the master key, unlocking what was me. Bandit took the grand prize right before my wet eyes. Why the theft, why the crime, stealing all my precious time. Robbery is complete, standing on the bitter street. Hijacked my entire brain. Shared secrets, stolen hearts, ripping all the safes apart. You gave him the combination, causing my devastation. Private things we used to make, handed over for him to take. Pilfered every midnight off, halting my personal growth. Journal pages torn away, nothing is safe today. Diary is exposed, every chapter quickly closed. Ink is spilling out, creating a massive drought. Treasure chest, looted bare, finding absolutely nothing there. He possesses what I told, leaving me to fold and submit private facts, ruining the sacred pact. He knows how you weep, promises that I swore to keep, handed off to the thief, bringing on this disbelief. Did you plan the heist, rolling the loaded dice, conspiring with the new, plotting what you would do? Inside job from the start, taking my trusting heart, giving up the private code, walking down the traitor. Shared secrets, stolen hearts, ripping all the safes apart. You gave him the combination, causing my devastation. Private things we used to make, handed over for him to take. Pilfered every midnight off, halting my personal growth. Safe, nothing inside, nowhere left to confide. Stolen goods taken far, looking at the getaway car. Shared secrets, stolen hearts, goodbye. Silver sheet, glassy stare, seeing what isn't there. Surface cool, mercury bright, giving back the wrong light. Looking long, looking deep, promises I can't keep. Mercury pool, electric glow, watching my spirit go. Polished lie on the wall, waiting for the the sudden fall. Image shifts, color fades, lost inside the icy shades. Skin is tight against the rim, thinking of only him. Reflections warp, start to bend, finding where the visions end. Sinking through the hollow floor, the mirror light first, quenching my thirst with poison and glass. Watching it pass, you found a new face in my old space. Reflections of him, making me dim. A phantom in blue, replaced by you. The surface is cracked, nothing is intact. Stolen shape, borrowed grin, where do I even begin? He is there in the frame, I forgot my own name. Glaring back from the shelf, hating what I see myself. Gray bubble floating high, hiding the digital lie. Zero dots on the screen, ugliest thing I've seen. Ghost in the machine, unread lines in between. Was it all a fake show, setting me up to go? You polished the silver line, knowing I would slowly die. Looping back to the start, tearing the lens apart. Why the face? Why the act? Breaking the final pact. The mirror light first, quenching my thirst with poison and glass. Watching it pass, you found a new face in my old space. Reflections of him, making me dim. A phantom in blue, replaced by you. The surface is cracked, nothing is intact. In the room, nothing left to consume. You and him, me and him, the mirror light first. Clearance tag on my chest, failing the final test. Imitation gold band slipping from my open hand. Hollow vow spoken cheap, sowing what I cannot reap. Plastic ring bent out, living with the heaviest doubt. Living with the heaviest doubt. You adore his new smile, walking down a different aisle, selling me for a cent, wondering where the magic went. Discount bin for my name, losing the entire game. He bought you with the phrase, lost within the autumn haze. Why the trade, why the sell, sounding the loud alarm, causing me so much harm. Dropping down to my knees, begging the silent breeze, tumbling through the dirt. Cheap vows, sold for nothing. I am just a ruined something. You traded me for a penny, leaving me without any. He purchased your affection, giving him the selection. Discounted to the floor, I am nothing anymore. Empty cart, aisle 3, nothing left for you to see. Tarnished brass, fade and shine, drinking the bitter wine. Receipt is printed out, throwing my feelings out. Coupon code has expired, feeling so uninspired. He consumes all your days, wandering the empty halls, stumbling through the weeds, ignoring all my needs. Pocket change is my worth, saddest soul on the earth. You settle for the least, starving at the giant feast. Was it a simple trade? Watching the flowers wilt, watching the empire fall, asking the brick wall. You swapped out the premium for a dull medium. Worthless words spoken loud, standing in the barren field, yielding all my inner peace. Cheap vows sold for nothing. I am just a ruined something. You traded me for a penny, leaving me without any. He purchased your affection, giving him the selection, discounted to the floor. I am nothing anymore. Discount rack, never ever coming back. Sold out, empty shelf, crying by my own self. Cheap vows.